Alright, what's going on everyone? It's Drucifer from Xbox Live, coming at you with some Kombat League. I had to rearrange my queue a little bit. I had some different videos planned to be coming up next, but I had a match today during my sets that encouraged me to alter the queue. But a few quick things first. As you can see, I've gotten some more time into Liu Kang to where I've surpassed Kung Lao, and currently my wins outweigh my losses, which is cool. Although wins and losses don't matter as much as figuring stuff out. Currently at Master in Kombat League. Last season, which was my first season, I got to Master, but I started with only 16 days left. And this time I started pretty much right at the beginning. We got about 2 weeks left and I'm at Master. So I feel like I can definitely get to Grandmaster, maybe Demi. We'll see what kind of players I run into. But this first set of matches we're going to watch here, this is the Sheeva match that I mentioned in the previous video. Since I did say that was coming, I wanted to add it to this other video, and it fits the theme. There's not much to comment on in this video, other than it shouldn't have taken me that long to come up with a defense for a jump kick. And it's just a typical Sheeva spammer video. So I'll let you watch it. But I fought this guy today who was a collector, and he must have had some issues with why I'm pretty sure he has some issues with Liu Kang in general, because he did send me a message saying that he found Liu Kang frustrating, which I understand. There are characters that frustrate me. It's just a matter of what you do with it. But I didn't read any of his messages until after the set. I never read messages during a set because I don't need the distraction. But he kept, I don't know a lot about collectors, so I don't know if it's like a combo or a special, but he's got this thing he does where he swings the relic overhead. Well, it doesn't hit as an overhead, it hits as a high, but he swings the relic over and hits you, and then he pulls it back and it hits you as a low, and it kind of like stuns you. He would keep spamming that, kind of stun locking me with it, and I don't know if that's just because he gets frustrated by Liu Kang and can't focus on a strategy to beat Liu Kang, and due to the frustration, so he's just doing whatever he can think of that works, or if he just hasn't learned how to play his collector yet. I don't know, it's hard to tell. He did have a couple of decent combos. It wasn't just spamming, but he definitely spammed that attack anytime he had the opportunity to do it. But, at first, when he said Liu Kang was frustrating, I was thinking maybe I'll give him some pointers on how to deal with Liu Kang. Because I've put in a lot of time as Liu Kang. I've done a lot of homework with Liu Kang, and I figured I could give him some tips. But then after the set, when I went to check the messages, right as I was about to clear him, he sent me another one calling me a typical Liu Kang spammer. So I don't have those first two messages. That's why I bring it up now, because I do have receipts for the rest of the conversation. But it starts with me replying to what he said, which, like I said, I was originally just going to let it go, but I felt the need to speak up in this case, because we had a little situation with some projection happening that I needed to correct. And I don't know if he just didn't realize he was spamming, or if he really thought he could just get away with saying it the other way, or if he was trolling or what. But MK11 has replays, fellas. Keeps them in your combat card, so even if you're not recording at the time that you're playing, Mortal Kombat is recording. They're there so you can go back and watch them, and maybe learn from your win, even from your wins, but learn from your losses too. So there's video evidence, and we're gonna look at it. But I just wanted to get that out because I'm gonna have a lot of things to say, and the receipts don't come to the end. And there's, like I said, there's not really anything special I need to comment on with this Sheeva match. If you've seen anyone beat someone who has limited knowledge of Sheeva or likes to spam with Sheeva, you know what you're looking at right now. But yeah, it's just like I don't know if he was just frustrated, which I get, because I get frustrated sometimes too. But you don't want to take it out on the other player, because usually the frustration isn't coming from the other player. The frustration is coming from yourself. And what I mean by that is it's either A, you let yourself get frustrated in the first place, so even if you didn't know how to beat the person, you didn't beat the person because your frustration was dividing your focus and you weren't able to think ahead in your match. Or the character is just one that you're perhaps weak against, and you haven't done enough homework, enough lab work, as it were, to figure out some kind of strategy to fight against that character. Or basically in some way it means you need to improve yourself, and maybe you don't like that you're getting bodied or you're getting beat up so bad. And you know, I get it, because I get that way too. But like I said, the important thing is how you handle that frustration. You gotta control it, not let it control you. So yeah, you know, there's tools to get better in this game. You just gotta use them and figure them out and educate yourself. Do a little bit of homework, a little bit of studying, as it were. You know, there's a practice mode. There's 2 practice modes. There's one in the online menu. It's in the same tab as casual online, all the way on the right side. There's also, from the main menu, there's a learn tab, and inside that learn tab, there's a practice mode. You can pick any fighter you want to practice against. You can customize how the AI behaves. You can even have another human player playing the other character. You have all kinds of different ways that you can do what you need to do to learn. And there's frame data, there's all kinds of information, there's hit data, so you can know what's an overhead, what's a mid, what's a high, how to defend against it, what's a low. You can practice flawless blocking. You can practice breaking through blocking by telling the dummy to block. You can set the dummy's AI, combat AI, to any of the difficulty you want. I mean, you're obviously going to have to account for the difference between machine decision-making and human decision-making. But it gives you an opportunity to learn how to defend yourself against the types of moves that that character has and the types of strategies that that character has. And you learn, and you give yourself another tool to be better. You know, for the longest time I played this game offline, so I never needed to know what frame data was. Even when I first started playing online, I didn't pay as much attention to frame data as I should have. But I've learned that, you know, if you take the time to learn what each increment in, or what each measurement in frame data means, and how that translates to your fights, you can better improve yourself by knowing exactly what you have that's safe, what you have that isn't safe. If there's something that you need to condition a player to before you can use it, you know, things like that. You know, like for example, when I'm playing against somebody and I'm using Dragon's Gifts, you know, if I see that they're expecting me to come from above, then I can condition them to anticipate that, and then I can come from one of the other directions. Because I can either mid from in front, mid from behind, or low from behind in Dragon's Gifts, in addition to coming from overhead. Or if I want to set somebody up so that I can hit them with an overhead, I'll toss some low fireballs at them and condition them to block low, because if they block low, they're open to the overhead. There's a free tip for you on how to deal with a Liu Kang. If you see him doing that, they're conditioning you. And that's just one example of something I might use conditioning for. Even in this Sheeva fight we're watching now, I knew that pretty much any time I was inside, it was going to be this jump, kick, poke business or grabs. So I knew I had to zone her, and I knew if I zoned her, I could condition her to either Dragon Slam or Dragon Stomp, and either one of those is beatable. Although, as you can see here, I keep goofing it, but it's beatable. You just walk it back. And with the Stomp, you just jump before she hits the ground. Which I didn't do there, but yeah, see, you just jump. She can't hit you. Then she's going to get frustrated. She's going to do that, walk it back. Conditioning. These are things you need to learn to be better. And I'm not trying to lecture anybody. I'm not an expert at this game in any way. And I'm certainly not encouraging anybody to harass anybody who's in these videos. If I were recording these games live, my username would be where the character names are here. And it's the only reason why gamer tags get involved, because if I were recording live, that information would be present anyway. Do not bother these people. This is just commentary. I don't normally teabag either, but it was my first Sheeva, and I felt like celebrating. That was probably shitty of me, but what are you gonna do? But anyway, I'm just talking about this stuff because I'm talking about it from my perspective of someone who doesn't have a lot of online experience, but is actually taking the time to educate themselves. I'm watching videos of top tier players, or even just videos of players who are better than me, and I'm educating myself on mechanics that I previously didn't bother to give the time of day. And I'm practicing in the practice mode against characters that give me trouble. You know, like I have problems with Sonya, I have problems with Rambo. So I'm practicing in practice mode against Sonya and Rambo so I can get better at anticipating the kinds of moves that they might use and how to respond accordingly to them, which is exactly what I said in your messages. So yeah, here we are. We're now into the collector fights. And at first it wasn't too bad, but then yeah, here's the first instance. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll call it 8.5. 8.5 times he spammed that. Okay, and I amplified my fireball. That's not spam. When you amplify it, it's 3 fireballs. Okay, so I didn't anticipate the teleport. And he's got a decent combo there, so he at least knows how to combo somewhat with Kollector, so I don't know, maybe he's still getting comfortable with combos with Kollector, or if he just really was that frustrated with the fact that he was fighting Liu Kang that he had to spam. But I mean, I'm not seeing how I'm spamming. I'm cycling through some combos that have been effective against him and are quick by my frame data, but you know, I don't see anything that would be recognizable as spam other than those 8 relic attacks in the corner. He did a couple more there, and if it would have took more than 2 to finish me, he probably would have done them again. So I wasn't quite reading the teleports, but a lot of other stuff I was reading. Now here I was trying to do a combo, corner combo I've been working on in the lab. That's 1, 2, 3, low fireball, amp, which is low high. 1, 2, 3, into bicycle kick or flying kick. But it didn't bridge, the fireballs didn't bridge. But they're spamming me with that poke, and then he was starting to spam me with the relic again, but I kicked my way out of the corner. So yeah, like I said, I don't know if he just was feeling pressure because he gets frustrated by Liu Kang players. You know, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, or if, you know, he just doesn't know Kollector well enough, so he wanted to keep spamming. Or, you know, if he just was getting desperate because of the pressure he was feeling from his frustrations. But, I mean, the only person I've seen spam so far is that overhead relic attack from him. And I don't know if he was just mad and was accusing me of spamming because he didn't know what to do, and he felt he had to spam those attacks to try and win, and he was frustrated that he didn't win, so he wanted to take it out on me. But like I said, you know, anytime a person is feeling frustrated in one of these games, it's generally probably not the other person. I say generally because there are always exceptions. Usually it's something you're not doing right. You just need to be able to recognize it and try to learn from it and try to get better. And I say that as someone who's trying to do the same thing. I ask people all the time in these videos, people who have more experience with Mortal Kombat than I do, if they want to offer me any kind of constructive criticism, I'm open to it. That is a two-way street, you know. I'm not trying to start any fights or anything. I'm just trying to have a conversation here. Let you know that perhaps, maybe, sir, you just need to educate yourself better. Instead of sending messages to people calling them spammers when the video doesn't show any patterns that I would read to be spamming from myself, although that's about another 7 or 8 of those attacks from the collector in a row, which I define as spamming. 8 of the same attack over and over and over again. You know, I call that spamming, sir. So, I just want you to look at this, because I'm going to send you the link, and I just want you to take a moment to reflect and learn and understand that you have tools to help you get better. You just need to use them and not blame other players when you don't win, especially when you're the person taking the actions you're accusing the other person of. And that's all I'm really going to say about that. This is the end of the match. The receipts are coming. Big Wolfgang. So I said, says the guy who spammed his lantern overhead. I read your text and responded. Called me cheeky spam boy. I'm guessing he's from UK. I said I'd link him the vid. And a perfect example of what I was talking about when I said I was reading the taxes at the beginning of the second round of one of those 2 matches. I figured he was going to walk in on me, and I had enough reach that I could stand 3-4-3 him and hit him, and all you'd have to do is half dash to me to be at range, and that's exactly what happened. I 3-4-3'd him into a bicycle. So here you go. Like I said, the video's here. You can look at it and you can see what spamming occurred, and just spend some time in the lab, man. Get yourself better. That's what I'm trying to do. Everyone have a good day, and thanks for watching. Peace.